11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the walls. The chair is against the walls. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific for about an hour or 90 minutes each day. We talk about 3 gun-related subjects, different subjects throughout the week. We run it live on YouTube. We're simulcasting it over at gunchannels.com. We're watching the live chat right here. And over on YouTube. When it's all over, we'll take the audio and we'll post it up on iTunes as a podcast. So we encourage anybody that might be listening to the show now or in the future to leave us some feedback. That lets us know where you're listening. It also helps the show to get recommended to more listeners, so we do appreciate that. There's 5 hosts. 3 of us are in here right now. We've got Bob jumping in, normally from Canada, but right now on location from South Tucson, Arizona.
Hey, glad to be here.
Enjoying the 85 degrees and a nice breeze.
Oh, it's beautiful today.
Did Bob fall down and bump his head?
No, why?
It's probably
You
just
seem like you're stroking out.
No, it's probably just my inner web.
we got Daniel jumping in from Illinois. Thanks for joining.
Glad to be here.
I'm also down here in Arizona. We don't know where Smeggy is, but Z will probably be jumping in about an hour when he's done with one of his 9 to 5s. So welcome everybody. Let's see, we're on episode 297. Today we're going to be talking about does the Second Amendment apply to immigrants, like Bob? We'll be doing a good idea, bad idea, which I hope I wrote it in these notes because right now it just says W for us. Gun posters, patch panels, and stickers in your cubicle at work will be our subject for good idea, bad idea. And then whenever Smeggy gets in or whenever Z gets in, they'll be doing the hashtag Showdown. So we got all that to look forward to before we dig, and then of course everything that we do on a daily basis. Before we dig into that though, I'll usually take a break at the beginning of the show like this, see if anything happened overnight, anything worth talking about.
Well, there's certainly the news out there about the ATF letter of correction to the SIG brace, that you actually putting it and letting it touch your shoulder does not make you a gun designer, thus changing the part into something else.
Yep, certainly all the news right now. Everybody's talking about it. But like we were saying before the show, it's a letter to one manufacturer, one letter to one person, so that only applies to them technically.
Right. And that is SB Tactical. You want to know exactly which company it is. And just out of interest, I looked last night and I thought, wow, I wonder if this is one of those things that, you know, in 24 hours, it's going to be out of stock. And
out of stock or out of brace?
Excuse me?
Out of stock or out of brace?
Good point. But as of, you know, like midnight last night, everything was pretty much in stock. At least I went to, you know, about 8 different websites that I commonly go to, including Palmetto State Armory, along with some others, Optics Planet and Botash and some others, as well as ones like Midway and Brownell, simply because they typically carry a lot. They don't necessarily have the best prices, but they do carry a lot in stock. And everything was in stock as of last night. Then this afternoon I looked, and some of the places started going out of stock. Not everybody, but some of them, like Palmetto State Armory is one, went out of stock. And now I know Angry threw in a comment here that J&G Sales, I guess, still has them. So that's one place to head up. Now, I would wonder if for Angry, is that the SB Tactical 15 SIG brace that's in stock, or one of the others, or from a different company? So we'll wait for him to get back to us. But yeah, it's I was just kind of curious as far as was going to create a rush or not in regards to sales, because, you know, we all know that gun sales have been down since the election. because people don't feel the need to go up and hurry up and buy something. They can take their time saving up their money for something rather than necessarily having to hurry up and, eat ramen noodles for the next 6 months because they had to buy something right away.
Well, while we're waiting for Ingrid to let us know what you're talking about over there, what you asked him, it's a good time to mention that we've got a Patreon. No matter where you're watching the show, if you go to the YouTube page, there's a link down here for our Patreon site. We have 22 people donating $78 a month to the show. That helps pay for the shipping. Every single day a patch is going out, so shipping every day. Of course, acquiring the patches and stuff, and then the podcast hosting. We're almost covering all those costs of the show. But I wanted to emphasize this because since the show is funded this way, we don't have to worry about relationships with a place like J&G Sales, who never have been a friend of the show and don't have any interest in doing any kind of business or advertising with us. We're not reliant on that. So even though they have no interest in us or talking to us or anything, we're still perfectly able and willing to send people over to their site because they have a thing that's in demand right now.
Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and share a link on YouTube as well as over on Gun Channels. This is a site. I found the SB15 brace available and in stock, and it was also less than $100. It's $92 plus shipping. So it's not the only place out there, but it was certainly in the search that I did, one of the places that was the lowest cost, along with being in stock, that you might want to check out. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and do a little screen share here.
While you're waiting for that screen share, I'm going to screen share the patch that solved this problem, that had made the ATF reconsider their crazy decision, and it's not out of stock, and that's our ATF Brace This patch. So anybody that wants to can grab one of these patches that we came up with Friday afternoon. Well, no, it happened Friday afternoon, evening. We had a live chat, and then I decided to do a live chat, long format, all day on Saturday, that day in January that it happened, mainly so that those of us who were heading to SHOT Show, a lot of people were en route when the news came out. I wanted to allow people to have a live feed that they could jump onto to ask any questions or get unified, so that when we got to SHOT Show, we'd all at least be aware of the situation. And during that live format show, somebody came up with the idea of making a patch to raise awareness, and kind of as a committee, we came up with the design and had this one made, and still have a couple in stock. So like I say, we still have these in stock if you want to grab one. It helps the show, helps gun websites out, and you can have one of the patches that help change the ATF's mind.
I also want to remind everybody that if you can't find them from suppliers, check out places like, the Trading Post. Well, that's not the Trading Post anymore. Is it the Online Gun Show?
24-hour gun show, yeah.
Yeah, that's on Gun Channels. So become a member. That's important. And
so, G, if you can click on my screen share for a moment. This is the SB Tactical 15 AR pistol brace. It's available currently in black as well as coyote brown, or whatever they call that color, for $92 basically, from freedomammunitions.com, not to be confused with freedommunitions.com. Two different companies. So make sure, if you want to check this out, it's at freedomammunition.com. Again, $92 plus shipping. We have no affiliation with them whatsoever. It's just simply the least expensive one I could find this afternoon looking around. If you find a less expensive one, please go ahead and either put that in the comments as we're live today, or send us an email at dailygunshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, and then on Friday, we always talk about deals and stuff. We'll let people know if, I guess if they send it in before that, we'll let people know, because obviously they're in demand right now.
Yep.
And it's like Bob said, it's a good time to sell yours. I have one that's new in the box. An old SIG brace that's new in the box from back when they first came out, and I'll probably end up selling that over on 24-hour gun show as well.
So if can non-members see the 24-hour gun sale, or no?
Yep, they just can't post.
Okay. Okay, so they can at least check it out as far as is there anything
They
might
buy it.
They can buy and trade. They just can't post stuff for sale without being a member.
Okay.
Cool. So I guess that's some news that was thrust upon us.
Yeah.
There's been some other stuff going on. I've been posting it as it's coming in. What? What are you saying, Bob?
I was just saying that's why you want to become a member, though, because it allows you to not only buy but also to post.
Yep. Yeah, we got a couple other things that have been over the Gun Channel's live feed, and I've been moving them over to Every Second Matters to the places where it's appropriate. But the first one is from Arizona here. We've had a movement in the state house, or the state Congress, I guess. It's gone through both the state Senate and then yesterday through the state house. Basically, though, a bill to prevent Bloomberg. So basically wording that says no government authority can require a transaction or require a background check on any kind of private transaction between two individuals. So that would apply to more than just firearms, but obviously it would apply to firearms as well. We don't have the best governor at the moment, so it's not guaranteed that it'll go through, but at least it's a movement of individuals trying to preempt something like one of the Bloomberg strategies, which is to come in, use the ballot petition to get something on the ballot, and then use marketing to influence the voters and to get things passed without any real diligence on through the House of Representatives, like normal laws get pushed through. So that's interesting from the Arizona side. It's worth keeping track of, so we'll try to do our best to follow it as it goes up to the governor. And then it sounds like in Wisconsin, I forgot who posted something earlier on Gun Channels today, I think, earlier today, about something that's happened in Washington. Democrats in Washington announced a new gun safety coalition. I'm not going to get into it, but remember the fight is always there. So while they don't see a fight to defend against on the infringement side, they're going to gather their troops and get ready for another attack. So that's what they're doing over in Wisconsin. They're not being, they're not doing it under the cover of or in the shadows. They're doing it out in public. So worth keeping track of.
Did R2D2 just come running through the room?
No, I just got a text.
No.
All right, so I guess we'll dig into the show.
Yep.
Tuesday, so that'll take us to our Second Amendment issue. And today it's, does the Second Amendment apply to immigrants? Immigrants. So Bob's down here enjoying the freedoms of the Second Amendment provides. Well, the Second Amendment protects for us. But
well,
being born gave Bob the right to own firearms, at least in the eyes of our country.
I guess this is one of those times where I wish I had handy somewhere. I do have a little pocket copy of the Constitution. The preface in regards to reference to citizenry or lack thereof.
Yeah, well, I consider it that the right to defend your life with whatever means are necessary is a human right. So the fact I can come down here and I have been assured that because of the constitutional carry laws here, as long as I am legally able to own a gun that I can, have here, that I have the right to carry it to defend myself or just to carry it because it's a constitutional right. So
I understand that's how you feel, but the question is, does the Second Amendment, i.e. the Constitution, apply to immigrants? Not does about how you feel and what you just said.
Well, of course it does. The Constitution was written for humanity.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was written for humanity. It was just written for this country.
It was written specifically for the country as it was bordered at that time.
And so you mean like then somebody like in Hawaii, oh, I guess they don't have the gun rights, do they? But somebody in California, oh no, I guess they don't have the gun rights either.
No, that's not what I said. I said it was written
wasn't
for
part of
borders at that time. As borders are expanded.
Borders expand? Oh, I get it.
Well, within the borders of the United States. Okay. As the borders are changed, obviously it covers either more or less territory depending on whether the border was expanded or actually retracted. And of course, we've expanded and expanded again.
You're saying I don't have the human right to defend myself because I'm not from...
That's not what I said. This is not about human rights, Bob. That's not the... If you want to discuss it, that's
whether or
fine.
not our Constitution is doing anything for you as a non-member of the country, not whether or not you as a non-member of the country have rights or not. Our Constitution doesn't provide any rights. It protects rights.
That's
Correct.
right. That's right. And it protects my rights, and I love it. I mean, I wish we had the... I wish
But
we...
it protects the rights of the citizenry. It does not protect the rights of people outside the borders.
Well, no, but once
The question is very simple. The Second Amendment, which is a document, and it says nothing about human rights. It's about what's written on the written page.
Once you're in the borders, it is the land, just as the speed limit is, just as any other, human or any other right that's given to you by the Constitution. It's a law of the land.
I understand, but
So-
I have rights that you don't have because you are not a citizen. I'm not saying you're not deserving, Bob. Don't confuse the two subjects. I'm not saying you don't deserve the ability to protect yourself. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm saying U.S. citizens in the United States have more rights than non-citizens.
Of course they do, but the basic rights written in the Constitution, your freedom of speech, that those stand if you're not a criminal, if you're not, I mean, it just makes sense, right?
It's not about what makes
So
sense. It's
the
about what's in the
law of the
Constitution.
land. No, but
It's
I mean,
about what's in the
if-
Constitution, what's written down. It's not about it makes common sense or everybody knows.
What I'm saying, Dano, is it's the law of the land. It's just like if you come here and you're from somewhere where it's okay to beat your wife, well, you can't beat your wife in America, right? That's against the
Okay.
law.
That's because
So
it's the
law of
American
the
law,
land.
right?
Right. So, I mean, just because you're from a different country doesn't mean that the laws of the country don't apply.
But that doesn't apply to everything. All items of life. i.e., you can't vote. You do not have that right. I do. That's a clear example of where I have rights that you do not. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't have aren't interested in the success or failure of the United States? No, that's not what that means. It just means you don't have a say-so without being a citizen. You have partial rights, but not full rights. And the same would be true in reverse if I was in Canada. At best, I would have limited rights.
Yeah, you would still have the rights of, well, we don't have free speech anymore.
I mean, yes, there are some similarities because we're both based off of English common law. That's where the similarities come along, but they're not exactly the same. They're just similar in some constructs.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So I've just been looking at some stuff online here, and I found an article from back in 2015. Yeah, from back in 2015, which I guess a German, what does it say she is? A citizen of the German Republic, but a legal permanent resident of North Carolina, wanted to get a concealed carry permit, and the wording of their concealed carry laws say that a person has to be a resident of the state longer than something or whatever. So the sheriff denied it. They took it to court, and it looks like it, from just browsing through here, it looks like it was upheld that she was entitled to obtain a CCW I guess, because of the idea that if you're, like, I think what Bob was trying to say is if you're required to obey the laws here, then that means you're, I guess it just means that they acknowledge you exist, and if you're required to follow our laws, then you're also entitled to our rights or the protection of your rights.
As long as you're not a criminal, you're entitled to limited rights, and that is correct. You're not entitled to full rights as a citizen. I mean, we do have a step system.
But I guess it depends. We don't have just plain old immigrants. We've got different levels of them, right? So,
right, we have legal immigrants and illegal immigrants.
No, there's more than that. There's green cards, there's resident aliens, there's different ways that...
And those are all legal aliens.
Oh, you're putting them all under the thing of legal aliens. So
if you have a green card, you're a legal alien.
Well, Bob doesn't have a green card, but he's still a legal alien, you're saying?
Right. If you're here on pleasure, i.e. a tourist, you're a legal alien. Now, if you overstay your welcome, then you automatically flip over to an illegal alien.
Yeah, if I didn't go home after 5 or 6 months, I would become an illegal alien in the sense that I wouldn't be paying my taxes that I would pay. Because once you stay here that long, you're supposed to pay taxes here.
So I'm not sure if we've answered that question or if we just made a big mess of it.
We probably made a big mess of it, but that's what you get for listening to our show. So, suckers. We'll leave them spinning on that one. We'll go on to the next thing, I suppose. So, yeah, I guess the point of this show is just for us to discuss things, to have a discussion with what's going on, or with the people watching us live. We see people over on the YouTube side chiming in on it. They all agree that Bob's crazy. But it looks like the consensus is you can have all the human rights you want, but if you want our Constitution to protect them, then be more than just a visitor, right? Be more than
right.
I think the Constitution does a great great job of protecting human rights, though. Like I say, I think it's one of the best written pieces of legislature I've ever read.
That's a good answer. But anyway, I guess our point of doing this show is just to bring up points of discussion. If you're creating your own content, use some of the topics here and extrapolate on them in your realm, whatever that is, blogs or videos or podcasts or whatever. If you are shaking your fist at the microphone or the speakers because we're missing something or we completely screwed something up, then like Dano said, take advantage of our email address, dailygunshow@gmail.com. And just like fancy newspaper, we'll put in retractions and apologies and whatnot if we've ever been wrong. Well, unfortunately, I don't think we've ever been wrong. One time we were wrong, but we were mistaken about that. So that'll take us into the good idea, bad idea, I guess. So we'll start digging into that. Before we do, I'll just take a break between the first and second segment of the show. So we feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. Gun Channels is a community we built a while back, focused on firearms. We've got lots of members over there. Today we're featuring Yesterday's Pomade, or as I like to call them, Pomegranate. So
Promenade.
What is it?
Promenade. Yesterday's Promenade.
There's no R in there. It's Pomade.
Isn't pomade a hair?
Promenade is like what you do with a horse or something, and then pomade is something you wipe in your hair.
You're right. Now that I look at it, my mind saw one thing, but then Bob's an alien, so I did something else.
But then I like to just say pomegranate because it gets the point across, and I'm dyslexic, so I see pomegranate every time I look at it.
That's right.
Anyway, that's one of the people that participates quite a bit over on the text chat and the main news feed, and as well as the chat. So again, when we built the place, we knew it was going to be used by a lot of people, and it's always great to see people taking advantage of the stuff we have to do over here.
Yeah, it's always nice to see that there are people who, for whatever reason, don't necessarily have interest or can't necessarily get into the video chat, so to speak, but are active in the text chats, asking questions, answering questions, interacting with the show and things that are going on there. So, and he is a regular in the, at least I believe it's he, I don't know that for a fact, in regards to what's happening in the chat. So
it's probably a good time, since we're talking about the chats, we can narrowcast to the people listening today, specifically April 25th. YouTube, Google had changed their systems, and that we've been getting alerts now for a long time whenever we log on to one of these things, that it's going to be changing either yesterday or today, however you want to look at it, maybe tomorrow. And I'm not sure, we're seeing some people that are having some issues with it hanging. It's not, the show itself isn't broadcasting correctly. So it could be that Google is changing some things around. It could be that we're slipping in at the last minute, the last days of the service. We're really not sure. So Google and YouTube or whatever have changed things this time of year, pretty much every year now. This is the time, I suppose, with everybody's in spring break and running around doing stuff in real life. They figure this is a good time to work on their systems. They also change things around, so we're not sure if this is a permanent change or if we're going to see a hiccup here, but we do appreciate people that are sticking through and managing to listen today, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Well, I actually just talking to ourselves.
That was really weird. You were roboting really bad for me, but I mean, my internet's so bad today.
What about for you, Dano? Were you breaking up?
You sounded fairly good. I mean, a couple little wobbles, but 99% of it was there.
All right, well, give us some feedback from the people that are watching live. We do notice we're down a couple of dozen people today, so that could be part of that. Could be that they're waiting for Z to show up. A whole bunch of the ladies like to wait for Z or Smeggy.
Yep.
All right, so I guess we'll dig into the good idea, bad idea, which today is gun posters, patch panels, and stickers in your cubicle at work. And since not everybody has a cubicle, I think that applies to like toolboxes or whatever your workstation is. I know people have different ways of, personalizing their stuff. Some stuff just gets accumulated. Some stuff you have up there because it, identifies your cubicle or your pod or whatever you want to call it, your office. So what do you guys think? Is that good idea, bad idea? We'll just start off, I guess, with the three of us. Bob?
It's a good idea. It lets people know that where you stand on gun issues, and that way if they're a snowflake, they're not going to bother you.
About
Since we can always say good or bad without any caveats, I'm going to have to go with bad idea.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with bad for the general, but then if we can add caveats or explain, I'd like to see a change. But I've worked in places where, as much as I like to be the thing standing with in the flow and making a nuisance of myself sometimes, just to make a point or whatever, sometimes it ain't worth it in a job situation.
Yeah. That's your livelihood. That's how you feed yourself, and if you have a family, your family. So I often find that mixing, outside activities, family in with work, the bare minimum, because it has the potential to add nothing except pain to your future progress if you're going to go upwards and onwards at that company. Now, if you work at a technical supply company that sells all sorts of tactical gear, totally different story. Or you have a boss and coworkers that are very outdoor friendly, very different story.
We got a different story there, because now if you got a weak patch panel up there, then you just look like a punk and nobody wants to do business with you because you can't hang.
Exactly. But there's some spots where it's definitely cool to do that sort of thing, and you've kind of like found a home, so to speak. So hopefully the business will continue and last for many, many years. But for the most part, they're drawing employees from the general pool of people out in the greater world, and your work persona, and people, there's snowflakes everywhere, and you don't necessarily know that the assistant of the head boss is a snowflake and is whispering in the boss's ear about this and making assumptions that aren't necessarily true. And it's just a lose-lose proposition from what I see.
Well, that's
in most cases.
So that's, I'm also going to put a caveat, or I guess I put a caveat at the beginning, that it's probably, depending on where you work, more than likely a bad one, but I don't think you're limited. Now, there's lots of different patches out there, right? So you can get stuff that isn't, like kill them all, let God sort them out. So that it's just obvious gun stuff, or like a thing that says Ruger with a revolver or something, or I don't dial 911. We can get around that kind of stuff and get some of the, I don't know, some of the stuff that's a little more subtle that can let somebody who is a gun guy do that. So now, one of the reasons you put stuff up like that is to let people know about your interests, or to give yourself some, remind yourself why you're working, what you're doing that weekend. So anyway, if you got something up there that's subtle, that lets somebody know, sometimes just having some patches, really, like you're saying, if it's a non-tactical type of job or whatever, just having a few patches up there might be the kind of thing that gets somebody to start a conversation, like, oh, what do you collect patches? And then, find out you can go shoot for something.
Yeah, because like as an example, the Every Second Matters patch is something that, unless you're aware, and it's part of, your the things that you're interested in, they may think, I wonder what that means. I mean, it may not be obvious to everyone, although it may be obvious to everyone listening to this. That's about the Second Amendment. It's a way for someone to say, oh, what's that? Well, you now, depending on the person you're talking to, you now have a potential opportunity.
Well, and that was the strategy behind that one specifically, was to be kind of non-threatening, and then something that creates a question. Now, that could be the kind of backfire on you, though. If everybody keeps coming up and asking you, and it's not an opportune time, or they're not the person, then, that might be a distraction, I guess. But I don't know. We haven't gotten too much feedback on that, really.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on the hat that you wear to work, but you take the hat off when you get to work, I think you're going to be fine. But if it's posted up on the side of your cubicle or something like that, then it's going to depend on the kind of place that you work at. And by kind of place, I mean the kind of people.
Tony's saying the chair against the wall. I think that's a good sort of nod. So I'm going to say, let's use the interactivity, since a lot of people are throwing in comments. We're going to start checking some of those out. But also, what is your favorite, or what's the coolest bumper sticker or magnet or gun-related thing to have up at a place of business? I know mechanics and stuff, or places that do machinery and have toolboxes as part of their gear. They'll sometimes put stickers all over them, or magnets and stuff, and kind of outdo each other, or at least personalize their stuff so that they know where their stuff is. Matt is saying that the girls' love is Every Second Matters patch. That'll happen. A couple of those patches, just keep in mind, it's going to be difficult keeping the ladies away.
No. Just make sure when you give it to the cute girl that she's by herself. You just don't want to be handing those things out to everybody.
So Angry says he was asked not to wear his Every Second Matters shirt to work after someone asked what it meant. He was deemed harmful to people's beliefs. I've always thought about, they kind of hijacked it. We did that thing years ago based off of Tony's design, and I'm pretty sure Tony didn't steal it from Black Lives Matter. But that stupid Black Lives Matter thing kind of jumped right on top of it, and I think gave it where people ain't paying attention, they're going to go, what is that? Are you screwing around with that our Black Lives Matter kind of slogan?
People have the right to believe what they choose, but they don't have the right to have their beliefs go unhurt. I'm not sure I quite understand that, because as far as rights versus beliefs, their beliefs might be hurt. I'm not sure what that either means, or he means feelings.
Well, I don't know. He's just typing in the chat, so he's trying to be brief.
Well, I'm trying to make a larger conversation out of that tidbit. I don't mean him in particular.
I gotcha. So yeah, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I mean, I've worked in a couple of different places in my time, and one of them was what I would think of as what do you call, like a center, basically, almost like a call center, where there's like a giant open room and everybody's got their little cubicle area. people that attain a level and keep their cubicle area, so you go back to the same place every day. And in some of these places, they were huge. So if you were trying to find somebody, like when I worked at Microsoft, you try to find somebody, you kind of navigated because of the way the cubicles were designed. It wasn't like there were streets or nothing. You just knew, oh, go by that girl who has a bunch of pink shit in her cubicle, and that guy is behind her or something, you know. So I could see some of that stuff being considered. I don't know. They usually have some sort of parameters up when they start doing a place, because there's always some HR person. I don't know if they're just trying to justify their job or whatever, or if they're truly. I'm trying to say, when you got hundreds of people in an environment that are all walking around with each other, it's probably necessary to have some sort of rules so that people aren't bugging each other constantly about stupid shit and getting work done.
Well, it just it always bothers me when we have to have special rules for people's feelings.
I don't know. I mean, I can see where it has nothing to do with an individual's feelings as much as the cohesion of a group of individuals. I mean, there's going to be things that are just annoying, and you're going to, I mean, if somebody had horrible perfume on, or if somebody didn't bathe, I mean, you're going to have some sort of basic rules. And if one of those is just quit saying stuff on your t-shirts and in your cubicles, I can understand that, is I guess all I'm saying, just because you're there.
I mean, I get it. Just that they're much more likely to say something about a pro-gun sort of thing than they are about Susie, that consistently has been wearing too much perfume for years, and nobody has the balls or kahunas to say something about it, because then she's going to get her feelings hurt.
Well, I don't know. We did have issues like that where people were sensitive to chemicals, so the girls were told not to have perfume. And I mean, again, I didn't have much skin in that game, but it's not always the snowflakes that win. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes I can understand, and as long as they're, like you're saying, if they're not just picking on Second Amendment, I'm not going to be down for that. But if there's a uniformly no, you know, messages in your stuff that you put up, your, what do you call that crap that you put up in your cubicle, is word for it, but
your personalized items.
Yeah, as long as there's no messages there, then I mean, as long as that's across the board, I guess I can understand it.
Yeah, and I would agree with that too. As long as
we're talking about it,
is good for the gander,
I'm sure that's not
I'm
the same
fine.
way in like that's not the same way in a garage or a machine shop. You know what I'm saying? That's probably only an experience that I've experienced in a, you know, that's like 50-50 guys and girls and all different kinds of levels of pay grades and stuff all in one big room.
Yeah, and I do agree with you as far as, you know, as long as it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I'm fine with it.
Tony makes a good point too, that when it's something you have to deal with when you decide to work for someone, right? If that's their rules of the thing. I guess it'd be more annoying if you wore your Every Second Matters shirt, or you're like, I don't know, some cool shirt off of your websites or something, and then they said, oh, all of a sudden we're changing the policy up. That would be annoying. All right, well, I'm reading through some of the chats there, but
it's time. He's coming. He's coming. It's the crazy Canadian. He's coming. He wants his bacon back. That's right. The crazy Canadian is back, and he wants his bacon back.
Are you having a channel?
What happens in here?
All right, those of you over on YouTube and those of you over on gun channels, put your cursor down into the text box and get your fingers limbered up. Mr. G. Webbs, have you seen the question, and more importantly, have you seen the answer?
Hold on, am I screen sharing? Okay, hold on. Yes. Are we still on? Dan was muted, so he's probably saying the answer to the question a bunch of times.
Sorry, I was muting myself. I didn't realize it. Okay, I will read the question twice, so here we go. 50 BMG is a iconic round, to say the least. So what cartridge was it based off of? The 50 BMG is an iconic round, to say the least. What cartridge is the 50 BMG based off of?
Well, that's a good question.
Bobzilla is not the answer. 20 millimeter? No. 30-06. We got the answer on YouTube first this time. Mel over on YouTube.
Whoa. L?
MEL, Mel.
Mel, congratulations. You are our tactical pop quiz winner for today. Head on over to dailygunshow.com/pop quiz. Fill out the form. Put your first and second choice. And congratulations, Mel. You are today's tactical hot shot for today. Congratulations, Mel.
Right on. And the name sounds new, so maybe we got a new winner over there. Probably a good time to do a screen capture here. And we send people over to our website, dailygunshow.com. There's a page over there when you win the pop quiz. Click on it, and then it takes you to this picture of a patch panel. So it's a bunch of patches that are either our designs, ones that we make here in Tucson. Some of them are our designs that we have made elsewhere. Some of them we've bought. People have donated them. And whenever there's a winner to one of the pop quizzes, we send you over. Pick whichever one you like. There's a form down here. You can let us know where to send it. Put a second choice in there just in case somebody's already grabbed a unique one that you're grabbing. And yeah, it's our way of saying thanks for watching and listening. Appreciate it.
And participating.
I'm looking at that patch panel. Can you throw that back up there for a sec? There's a number of examples. If you get that back up there, okay. Up there in regards to, we were talking earlier about patches that you can throw up there that may not be obvious as to what's going on. There's all sorts of examples on there that it may not be obvious as to what's going on. Whether it's simply the Arizona star and the flag, whether it's some of the companies and and their logos. Some are just some fun and interesting ones.
Yeah,
but like the PG.
The S&W40. I'm going to do that one to be.
Yep.
It's a good
Dano has every
file.
What'd you say, Bob?
I was just saying Dano has every version of the stripper clip.
Okay. Before we continue on, though, I would like to interject our miscellaneous segment of the day. You guys are ready?
Sure.
And I'm going to throw this out to the audience, and you can either comment in the chat and pick it up that way, or you can email us at dailygunshow@gmail.com with your input. But the question that I have for all of our audience, as well as any of our hosts, if any of you happen to have any input on it, is I'm going to be going down to Camden, Tennessee to Tactical Response here in a couple weeks. Is either in that area or going directly on north into Kentucky. Is there anything gun shop, museum related that you think I should definitely take a little time out and see? Because after my class, I do have a couple of days that I can lounge about and kind of alter my course and not necessarily go directly back home. So I am kind of trying to cast a net out there and see if anybody has any ideas on things that might be available to stop by and check out, either in the the western end of Tennessee, but not as far as Memphis, because I'll be coming down from Illinois, going into Kentucky, and then directly down into Camden through the land between the lakes area.
So we went.
So if you're,
I've got it on my screen here, right? We went from Camden. I think we took this up here, up to here to get to Fort Campbell.
Up by Fort Campbell.
Yep, and then we zoom in. I don't know if it's the same. Brigadier Quartermaster was here though, and then APS Tactical is here. Then, so I guess it's called US Patriot Tactical now. and then somewhere over here is US, which is U.S. made gear. Then on the south end of this town, and I don't remember the scale anymore, somewhere in here probably, there was quite a few surplus stores. I guess if I typed in surplus here, I would find out.
Yeah, with Fort Campbell, you know, nearby. I mean, it's just I just kind of assumed that there's going to be a large number of gun stores, but I didn't know if there were like museums that were worthwhile taking some time to go check out or not.
So those are all surplus stores right around there. Fort Campbell's a big camp.
Okay.
And that was like an hour or something away. Where's Camden at? Over here.
Angry says Hickok's house. Well, somewhere near Nashville. Well, I don't think I'll be getting an invite for Hickok's house.
Scott lives over here somewhere.
Dano, just show up. They'll be fine with that.
Just start shooting out in his backyard. You know, just like, I'm from YouTube's. Oh, okay. Tony's saying Outpost Armory and Barrett Factory. I don't know if the Barrett Factory will let you in or try to get you in there, but otherwise, Outpost Armory is right out front. That's in the town right there. Is it Nashville?
Now, is Outpost Armory like a Army Navy supply store, gun store sort of a thing, or?
No, it's just a gun store. We've reviewed it before. We showed some pictures of it. It's like in the shape of a T, and there's like a wing for guns, a wing for ammo and stuff, and then a wing for like gear. The registers are all in the middle.
And so that's more towards Nashville than Clarksville?
Oh yeah, that's at south end of Nashville. It's probably a good hour.
I don't think I want to be sneaking into a gun factory.
It would be tough to sneak into Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be by Nashville. On the south side of Nashville. So it's like an hour. I don't know if it's worth an hour over there just for that. You could go back. You could go back through St. Louis at all? St. Louis?
Well, I'll be going basically directly north from Camden, directly north, except for any east-west deviations I'll make for museums, cool gun stores, that sort of thing.
Well, there's the NRA Shooting Sports Museum in St. Louis.
That is true.
Might be able to hook up. He's not that far from there.
Who?
Depending on if he's traveling or something.
Who's that?
You've already met Foose before.
Oh yeah, I know Foose. Yeah, no, he's in Arkansas. He has family in that area.
That's what I say. He goes to St. Louis every once in a while.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah. Let you got Springfield Armory down there somewhere. No.
Dark's Hound is in Clarksville. Oh, that must be a Don F. Pratt Museum.
What's
Did you ever hear that?
No. Tennessee Avenue, north of Fort Campbell.
Raphael, I'm not going to Croatia. Just take the bourbon tour. Okay, Pink. I guess I could do that.
I guess
I might not ever make it home again.
The Don F. Pratt Museum is on Fort Campbell.
Oh, it's on Fort Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that, you know, going to a federal installation that they changed the identification requirements, and this is something I learned about a year and a half ago. Is I went to the Rock Island Arsenal Museum, which is on the Rock Island in the middle of the Mississippi between Illinois and Iowa. And to go to the museum, even though it's technically part of Illinois, it's federal territory, or however they phrase it. And my driver's license was not considered a valid ID to get on the installation. So I have to carry if I want to go on something like that, I have to make sure that I carry my birth certificate, my social security card, to be able to get in.
Or your passport would probably.
Well, yeah, but I don't have a passport.
Why the hell don't you have a passport?
Yes, Sean, I could also bring my DD-214 handy. But the paper that my DD-214 is, it's like so thin. It's like, I don't know, it's almost like they make that stuff out of tissue paper sometimes.
It is. It's like onions, because it was like 6 or 8 copies or something.
Right. So you would type it out or write it out once, and then they'd have 6 copies, all different colors.
But I think you can go online and download that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Dano is going to be traveling. It's part of the Gun Show Loophole tour. We're going to count it as that. So if you can send them to some museums and stuff, that'd be cool.
Yep. All right. So again, if anybody comes up with an idea later on, feel free to mail it, i.e. email it, to dailygunshow@gmail.com, and just put in the subject Dano's trip or something like that, just so it's obvious as to what it's about. And I would appreciate it greatly. Bring back Tales from the Crypt.
All right. So then what do we do next? Aziz looks like he's coming in, so we'll mention that today in history is Smeggy's birthday. So our little Smeggy's growing up, out running around.
He's a big boy.
Our little Smeggy growing up.
I can remember when he first started on the show. He didn't even know about revolvers back then.
Yeah.
Oh, he was such a simple boy back then.
And now he's got 3 hairs on his chinny chin chin.
And he's still pretty simple, but I mean, at least he knows more about them.
But yeah, I have a feeling that might account for his absence today.
So he's asking why he says that it's odd for a snowman to have been created in April. That's why he's such a tiny snowman. He was created from the frost out of a refrigerator. So I guess it was Hosh's birthday the other day, and do you have 2 dots? And 2 hottie the day before. So there's got a bunch of people on gun channels with birthdays right now. We don't know how old he is. I think he's 26 or something. 24. What do you think?
He's in his 20s.
22 maybe. He's youngin.
Yep.
He's old enough to drink. We know that.
Yeah, he can drink. At least he passes as a 21-year-old.
2 Smeggies would not quite equal a Dano in years or pounds.
That's true. You'd probably take about 4 Smeggies.
Well, I think
He's a slim guy.
We're kind of waiting on the next subject, so why don't we get into the gun of the day?
Well, I was going to say, why don't we go ahead and do, because we haven't done Michigan yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
or were you holding off on that?
Well, we have 2 people that might have experience in that, but we might as well, because otherwise we'll not be doing anything. So
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we'll wait on that for Z to get here. I forgot. That's where the man was born and raised.
So let's
talk about
FN Model 1800.
Yep. And it was one of the first really affordable really affordable automatic pistols. And I mean, it's a John Browning design, so it's perfect. Very simple, elegant little gun. Shot the 32 ACP, so not a high power round, but we all know that evolved eventually into the 45 ACP, as well as, I mean, it really was where the 9mm came from. So it's the perfect gun, or the perfect round, or did become that. But It was a really affordable, really simple, really effective, basically a pocket pistol, although it's not what we'd call a pocket pistol today. It's much larger than that. But yeah, just a Browning classic design, and worked well. Perfect little gun. I'd love to get hold of one. I think it'd be really neat.
A traditional suit and coat, the coat pocket, in a traditional coat for a suit, is that pistol would fit no problem in that type of coat. And back in those days, that's what when they meant pocket pistol, they were talking about those types of pockets, not skinny jean pockets.
Yeah, they were talking. You put it in a suit pocket, and then somebody. It was just the ideal little gun for its day, and like I say, it was one of the first affordable automatic pistols. Because the other ones that were around were like the Mauser, that kind of thing, that were expensive. They were big, they were bulky. This gun was like fairly small. It was simple every time because, of course, John Browning designed it, and he is the preeminent gun designer in the world.
You can talk about how it's upside down.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. The big thing now is they're talking about how we want the lower bore access on guns, right? So the recoil comes straight back, way back. So I mean, it's just genius. John Browning is a genius. I always will be. Yeah.
So if you look at it, it looks like some kind of double barrel gun on top of each other, but this bottom part is the barrel. Like that's the barrel sticking out. This is a better example. That's the barrel. The top is the recoil spring. So even though it's got this shape, you were expecting the recoil spring to be underneath. It's up on top.
Mm-hmm. Which, even though a 32 ACP didn't have much recoil, still would have mitigated it to nothing. I mean, that thing would have been just a tack driver,
But there must have been some issue that they didn't continue at that point on with that design, and they, reversed them back.
Yeah, look at all this. It's ridiculous.
Well, no, it's John Browning's design. It's not ridiculous. He was still.
Look at all these springs.
Refined.
Exactly. You have to acknowledge in the genius creative process, he's going to have less perfect things along the way.
Well, I don't know if you want to call them less perfect, but I mean, for its day, it was perfection.
No, it wasn't perfection. It was an improvement.
It was
it was perfection on anything that was available.
No, it was not. Perfection implies perfect, and it was not perfect. Otherwise,
how can people call a Glock perfect? Because it's a piece of crap.
If it was perfect, Bob,
it was as perfect as minds could make it at that time, and it was a perfect little pocket gun.
So John Browning's mind was limited, is what you're saying.
No, what? Oh, blasphemy! Blasphemy! Oh! Dano, geez whiz. I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you said that.
You're
the one that said it was limited.
We're gonna bring Cheese Whiz into this on Smeggy's birthday.
For minds of that time.
You Dano, I don't even want to talk to you anymore.
He's having a stroke.
Wow, I had no idea this would happen. So that's the kind of extra bonus you get with the daily gun of the day. Anybody else dealt with an FN model 1900, the upside down gun?
Nope.
Interesting concept. In the developmental cycle of what was not quite yet perfection. Certainly an improvement on previous designs. Interesting concept, but was on the road to better things from there.
Perfection is not a destination, my friend. It is the journey.
All right, we've been waiting on a couple.
This was not bumper sticker.
Well said, Z.
All right,
yeah,
so
we got a bumper sticker.
We've been waiting for things for Z to show up, so I think we'll start off with the Michigan, while Dano's still here.
The gun laws that they had when I lived there was over 25 years ago, and they have changed substantially since I've been there. It would have been a nice day for Smeggy to be here since he lives in Michigan and has a
You want me
carry
to do
license.
the
And
current state of the state?
And he seems to be really proud of Michigan.
You want me
oh,
to
definitely,
you want me to do the state of the state?
that'd be great.
Go ahead.
There is no permit required to purchase. There is no firearm registration. Well, this is per wikipedia.org, gun laws in Michigan, so
Okay.
it's subject to them being correct or
But you're
being
not looking in the second column for handgun. You're talking about for rifles, okay, but if you're talking handgun,
Right.
Yes, that is a good point. Yes, there is registration of handguns, not long guns.
Somebody's wrong again.
Well, yeah, I am not perfection on every moment of my life.
not like
There is a carry permit required for handguns, but not long guns. There is open carry permitted for both long guns and handguns. There is state preemption of local restrictions for both long guns and handguns. There is no assault weapons laws. There's no magazine capacity restrictions. There's no NFA restrictions. And on background checks for private sales, they are required for pistols, but not for long guns. But again, this is subject to change. So that is the state of Michigan. Now, what I'd be interested in is things that are currently possibly in the works over there. And it'd be a great opportunity
Like
for
hunting with silencers and stuff.
In regards to other possible things they may be doing, such as like lowering their fee systems for carry permits. Eliminating firearm registration for handguns. I mean, I'm just spitballing things that.
I'm just going to head over to Every Second Matters then, and Smeggy did post a couple of things in April about Michigan. Looks like they have a couple of bills going through the legislature. Opening them up here. But we were talking about state laws recently. I don't remember what show it was, but when we started looking it up, Michigan isn't necessarily on the pro-gun end of the spectrum. It's in the middle, but it's not right solid in the middle. It's because of that stupid pistol registration.
Right.
That's messed up.
Exactly. It's not as gun friendly as one might think. I mean, yeah, they do have it. They do have a strong hunting community in Michigan, which would
One point a long time ago.
Pro-gun, but the people in the government aren't always necessarily on the same page.
In a land far, far away.
At one point a while back, before I had moved, sometimes it was required home ownership or something to that effect for handgun purchasing at one point. That's been quite some time, though, since that.
Because that goes right back to, and I realize, the economic discrimination was the tool that they used against keeping the black population suppressed. But in regards to ownership of land,
anybody poor who
now we're going
to buy a home, renting.
Well, no, but if you have to own a house, that's not that. How is that different from having to own land?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's what you're saying.
To exercise a right.
Did we find out what Every Second Matters had to say about things?
Actually, it sent me to the weirdest bunch of lawyer speak that I couldn't decipher. So looks like there's 3 things that Smeggy posted in April, but we'll probably want to go back and readdress them because the links he sent us were like literally to the links in the Michigan legislature. So you open up all the different amendments and or like pieces, and it follows the law around, but it doesn't give you even like a summary of the bill. It just tells you like where it is in committee everywhere and the dates, and then all the subsections that it talks about, but no summaries or like translations to regular talk. It's all procedural looking. So I don't know.
But you said they had 3.
Yeah, they just were numbers like 1913 and 1178. There was no clue as to what they were even focused on.
Well, I would like to just take a quick opportunity moment to ask those of you out there that happen to be listening or watching this on YouTube, please take a moment and subscribe to this channel. It helps us in ways in the future to do things that we aren't quite able to do at this point. So if you are watching or listening on YouTube, please take a moment now and click on subscribe, and we would appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Yeah, much.
Something subscribers, I think, since we started.
I have to. No, please.
What was that, Bob?
I'm just saying that's one thing I can agree with on Dano. Let's everybody subscribe to the Daily Gun Show. Daily Gun Show.
Right on. So I guess we'll dig in. Is there anything else to say about Michigan?
It's great.
Maybe people that live in Michigan don't show up to even talk about their state. So how good can it possibly be?
Well, that's true.
It was so good I had to leave.
Yeah.
I guess we won't. I won't talk about how they stole a bunch of land from Wisconsin.
Ohio.
That was given to us. That was given to us, sir.
Under duress, I understand it.
I just watched that show about states got their shapes, and it talks about how they stole all the Upper Peninsula.
Given. It was given in exchange for like what, Toledo? Is that what we gave up?
I think you guys wanted to go down to no,
Yeah.
some other state wanted to get up to Toledo, and you're like, okay, as long as you can give me half of Wisconsin, and they're like, I don't care.
Ohio.
Half of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Or did Ohio somehow own like a big giant weird L shape?
Ohio got to keep Toledo.
They might have traded some deeds for it.
So Sean is saying Mackinac Island. That's that island that you can't drive cars on.
It's also pronounced Mackinac.
Right, and that's really more of a touristy to keep it clean because there are so many people there. I mean, it is understandable.
And that's between the Upper Peninsula and the Mitten.
You got it.
The closest point to get from one to the other by ferry.
I've only ever heard about it. I never went up there.
It's pretty cool. There's also Fort Michilimackinac that's there on the Mitten, as you were calling it, right before you come across. So it's like a historical fort. And growing up, it was one of those things that, during the summer, the family would get in the, load up the trucks and the station wagons and whatnot. And I've seen pictures of us down there. And it, at the time, did all of the pre-independence type of stuff, and I'm trying to think if they do any post-independence stuff. I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time.
I was just thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure it's a fact that every single resident of Michigan lives on a peninsula. The whole place is nothing but peninsulas.
Yes, because we have so much water
Surrounding
us. Yes, sir. It's awesome.
Probably stolen from the Canadians.
Seems to me Canadians ought to be lucky that they stopped where they did. All they had to do is walk across the other side of the lakes there.
Oh, they tried.
As much as they want.
So is Bob just ornery today, or are we? Is it special?
don't know, something like the It's super nice out here today. It's like 85 degrees, wind's blowing. It
Oh,
almost feels cool, like there might be some moisture in the air. I'm sure he's happy.
Oh, I see you out there, Pink Panther, talking shit. I see you, Pink Panther.
It is
Oh,
beautiful.
I see.
It just this is the way it should be year round.
We get it.
85's not bad.
85 with a breeze. So, yeah. The only thing better would be if there was some rain off in the distance and we get the smell of creosote in the breeze.
I like the way you put that. Is that just basically from it coming up from the road or what?
No, the trees that comes from are
Okay.
fragrant. They bloom and it smells awesome.
All right, I got you. I was thinking of a different way,
Oh no,
like actually smelling the creosote, like actual
Not
creosote.
creosote from the railway ties.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, damn, that's
Not
a
the
distinct smell, aroma.
no, not the product, the source. Definitely.
Okay.
All right. Well, so anyway, I guess that'll take us into the movie of the day. So we talk about a gun-related movie every day. This one is kind of on the border, I suppose. Oh, look who's here! And then
Yeah, finally showed up.
the last couple minutes of the show. So this one's gun-related, I guess, technically, but also in a lot of ways it's very gun-related, right? But anyway, it's The Matrix. So
I think there's more than 2 guns in that movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
1999, right before the Y2K, everybody's kind of freaking out. Nice, pleasant time to have or it was a pleasant distraction to have such an awesome movie happen. You think?
Yeah, I like Matrix.
Well, and computers were just really, I don't want to say coming into their own, but the internet was definitely growing by leaps and bounds at that time. So it was still something that was an enigma
Scary.
a little bit.
Now, what if you were young and like Smeggy, just turning 22 today? Probably
You're funny.
seeing Matrix for the first time, in 2014 or something. You think they can get the same thing out of the Matrix, or is it just going to be aged and so many Matrix wannabes came along since?
I feel like they won't appreciate the whole idea that like the slow motion, like bullet time stuff, like the Matrix invented that, and now everybody uses it. So they'd be like, "Oh, this is kind of dated." They wouldn't appreciate that they were the first movie to like really film in that way, and it was. At least in my opinion, I saw it in theaters and it was cool. It's like, wow, this is brand new. This is really cool way of filming stuff. And then they overdid it in the other ones, but it was cool.
Well, it was
first
like the
time.
rotoscope or whatever too, right? Where it was she would jump up, it would pause, and then it would rotate 360 around. That was also
Right,
new
that
for
was
that too.
cool.
All the like
Yeah.
raindrops and brass and everything in the air. Yeah, that was mind blowing, right?
Oh yeah. I
But
love
the point was, how bad was it when you're watching it in a theater for the first time and they get to that scene where they're walking through that, is it a foyer of a building? They go through the metal detectors and all that, and then they just start dropping, what are they dropping, like live rounds? Like complete cartridges?
Oh yeah, because they CGI'd like full bullets coming out.
Yeah, and I did it in slow motion for long enough that you're like, oh, this is awesome, this is awesome. Oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard. I remember it.
I have to say I don't know if I noticed it the very first time. I noticed it since then, but I don't think I noticed it the first time.
Luna's saying that the bullet time was used in commercials first, like Nike and Gatorade. I think I kind of remember.
First time I ever saw it. It's the first time I think.
Well, I was gonna say I remember it for the Matrix. I don't remember it for the commercials.
Moon was really into soccer back then, so
He probably even called it football. Football.
Well, maybe the commercials for Matrix, if that's what he's talking about.
Nice. And that was the whole thing about choice, and the government really was kind of after you, and everything is VR, and like there was just a whole bunch of stuff going on in that movie. It's like an onion. It has many layers, as Shrek would say.
Yeah, I thought
Complicated.
that was okay. Actually, it's more like a cake.
Diecaster saying in his top 100 movies of all time. What are you putting in 100? I think it's getting a little bit higher than 100 for me. Of all
The
time.
Matrix?
I would think it's top 50s.
Of all kind movies?
50 for sure. I'm even thinking it might gain a 25 spot.
I'd give it top 50,
50
and
for
two, you know, pretty rigid thumbs up, but you know,
I'm giving it 2 gigantic birthday cakes up.
What I don't remember is, do I want the blue pill or do I want the red pill?
If you want the truth, you want the red pill. If you
cakes
want to
have
just
layers.
live in blissful ignorance, then take the blue pill.
Yeah, it's backwards because everybody.
Boy, isn't that a choice? Knowing the answer now, what one are you taking? Knowing the answer now.
I'm taking
Knowing
the
that
blue.
Neo would get out of the Matrix eventually, just hang out in the blue until he fixes everything.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like, you either know that you go into some type of existence that is kind of beyond your control, or you, like you say, you stay blissfully ignorant and just, you wouldn't know no different until they take your mouth away, which
And so I'm gonna
is pretty
take
crazy.
the red.
Oh no, I think he did.
He did. He took the red pill and now he's
I'm-
out of the Matrix. What the fuck?
I'm going to take the blue pill. And
He's out of the Matrix.
At my age, I wouldn't have much of a chance anyway.
Bob, that blue pill, if you're talking about the one I'm thinking, you're gonna have a heart attack.
No,
Or do
I
you,
take
or
the
do you not
other
mean that blue pill?
one. The Cialis one. It doesn't give you heart attacks nearly as often.
So,
Well,
anyways,
there you
let's
go.
see. Before my phone interrupted me and let Bob talk about pills, which I'm sure the audience didn't want to hear about. I'd take the red pill, and when we got to that room where it's like the whole rack of guns, I would just like imagine a bunch of cool ones, and be like, "All right, you guys go fight stuff. I'm just gonna like go to the range," and I would just like shoot awesome guns for the rest of my life.
You'd be like constantly uploading. I know kung fu. I can fly a chopper. I can hot wire a motorcycle.
Yeah, but
I'd
who
imagine
would,
a gyro jet because I've always wanted to shoot a gyro jet.
yeah, who would upload that for him? Who's sitting back in the not Matrix uploading all that info for him? Because I mean, who would do that for Smeggy?
Now, if they were in the Matrix and they uploaded all that knowledge, they have that knowledge outside the Matrix too, like when they're in real life.
That I don't know, because now if we're talking the knowledge of how to do something, yes. The knowledge of the ability for kung fu, I don't know about that.
That's what I'm saying, because they go in there, they master kung fu, and they're jumping all around and stuff. That doesn't mean you can like master gravity in real life, right?
Well, and I guess you know what though, you never see any of them fight hand to hand so much in any of the 3 movies, other than when until it's the Smith coming through into the other guy, and there's a little bit of hand to hand, but not any type of kung fu on the ship. So like the only place that they even use that stuff is in the Matrix, it seems like. No, that doesn't, and there's no motorcycle for him to hot wire in what's the name of the place?
Zion.
Made you say it.
Oh, you tricked me. Yeah,
I did.
On his birthday, he's getting weird.
Because it is in your brain, but you're right. As far as like being able to fly and stuff, you shouldn't be able to do that in real life. However, in the later movies, didn't he like use his like mind trick to kill those octopus things that were changing shit? And that was in real life.
He did manifest some type of something.
Yeah. And
Which they never even really get into.
It's I did not like that. So it's like I understand
No,
you can
granted,
control the Matrix once you know
he
what it
was
is.
the only
but
one that
in
could
real
do
life,
that,
it's
by
still
the
not
way.
magic.
He was the only one that could do that.
It's Smeggy's birthday.
Bob, you need to take a deep breath. Talk slowly. You're breaking up a little bit. I think it's because you're excited, but I'm not sure.
I was talking slowly, but I will talk slower. I can't understand why
Clearly.
Oh, Jesus
Smeggy
Christ, Bob.
is sober on his birthday.
Huh?
And why is Bob on lewds? He can't understand why you're sober on your birthday.
He talks slower. I heard Smeggy's birthday. Yeah, it's my birthday. Hooray!
Happy birthday, by the way, buddy.
But
Yeah,
thank you
happy
guys.
birthday, Maggie.
So we
Anyway,
pretty
so
much all agree that the Matrix was awesome, though, especially if we're talking about the first one, right?
Right.
Like,
we're
there's
giving-
no disagreement on that.
We're all giving it 2 thumbs up, and hopefully we gave some of the youngins some insight as to why all the old people think it's such a great movie. Do you think?
Yeah, because we had never seen shit like that at that time either. That's the whole big deal. I mean, it came out at a time where that was groundbreaking stuff. Which was cool.
Yep. So what else is going on in the show? I know I probably missed all of it. You guys already covered all the other topics?
Did you guys do the good idea, bad idea?
We did, but if you guys want, now that you're back here, if you want to put your insight into it, the good idea, bad idea was what happened to my thing?
Gun posters and / patch panels and stickers in your cubicle.
Cubicle, or if you had like a machine shop, like in your work area, or I guess if you're doing something else, you know, in your work area that other employees might see.
I'm gonna say good idea, but that's only if like you're in a decent environment. Like my office is kind of small, and I talk about guns all the time, and pretty much I think like 90% of the people that work in my office either own guns or have at least shot them before. So no, there's only like that one dude who's super anti-gun, and I always argue with him. But like if your boss is super anti-gun and you put gun stickers up, like, you know, it might affect it. I mean, it shouldn't, but they might give, you know, whatever, a big project to the other person instead of you. Like it could be that type of thing. So you just have to kind of know your environment. But I'm pro, because it, like we've always said before, it does show those other people like, oh, here's this guy and he's whatever, you know, good with AutoCAD and like a normal person, and he also happens to like guns. Like, okay, then when people try and say gun people are scary, well, I know they're not, because, you know, Smeggy over here is not scary. Although the people in my office don't call me Smeggy, but whatever.
Would that freak you out if they did?
A little bit.
Okay, now, G-Webs, you mentioned... Oh, okay. I was going to say, G-Webs, you mentioned the difference between, like, a cubicle and what'd you call the other one? Like your machine shop or something? Or, like, the garage that you work in? I'm going to go with there's a slightly different vibe happening usually, or a different dynamic as well, interactive dynamic between usually the people in like the machine shop or the garage as opposed to what's going around in the office with cubicles. I'm going to say that I'm not saying that it's fair to call it that. I'm just saying that there is a difference. And it's usually in the people and how they interact, usually. So I don't know that Smeggy's is the example or the exception for the office.
Yeah, I think it's probably the exception, to be honest. Like most offices is probably you want to try and be a little more PC and stuff. Although, again, if
you're going to hear from
like,
HR, dude, right? Wouldn't you say, Smegs? Like in a heartbeat at some places, you're going to hear from HR practically before you put your butt in the seat.
I don't know about that. I mean, I guess the difference too is what kind of patch or whatever. You know, are you doing something that's like, what, you know, zombie killer or something like kind of weird, or is it just like, oh,
that
I have a
tap
Glock
rack
patch
bang patch with the chick?
Yeah, I wouldn't put that up in the office.
Where it's kind of vulgar, you know. However, in the machine shop and or garage, might not be such a big deal. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some stickers on.
I mean, there's people that could be offended by the stripper clip, and you know, which is ridiculous. But there's people out there like that.
Right. I'm just thinking, like, actually, when I'm in the field, I have a gun website sticker on my hard hat. So it's like no one's ever called me on that. Be like, hey, you can't have gun stuff here. had a couple being like, "Oh, what's gun websites?" I'm like, "Look him up on YouTube, man. He's a cool guy." So, in that aspect, when you're dealing with sheet metal workers and pipe fitters and welders and like different like trades and stuff, they seem to be a little more open to it, a little cooler. So I could see having your toolbox have a bunch of stickers on it, and it'd be no problem.
Yeah, I definitely see it being easier to go that way.
And that's kind of what we came up with. Pretty much. I think Bob was pro and Dano and I were against, but leaning towards basically the same stuff you guys said.
Well, and Bob's retired, so like he ain't even got to keep a job.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of experiences you got, what you consider a cubicle. If that's an office environment with 9 people or 90 people or 100 people, it's or hundreds of people, I guess. We had one spot was multi floors with just nothing but cubicles, and everybody was personalizing them. So that's a little different.
How is that? You're talking about AOL?
Oh no, that was a little different. That was more rigid. At Microsoft, though, it was a little bit bigger and more. You at least for what the job I had, we would be walking around, wandering more often than not, trying to talk to people, make things happen. So anyway, when there's managers and the mix of people, like you're saying, in an office environment, people that may or may not even be outdoors types, or who knows what kind of political and whatever sensitivities, then you get different parameters on what is okay and not for your personal stuff there. But even in a shop, though, if you work at a place where the public has access to or even sees your, if you're changing tires or something and you're like bay or whatever, people potentially see their cars or see into your workspace from the street or something, they might have concerns.
And to be honest, that can have an effect on business for sure. It's almost like you have to have, and I'm talking about like this day and age, just in order to like cover your bases, you almost have to have like a sterile or a neutral work environment where it's not like you have to be afraid of offending anybody, but in the interest of maximizing business potential, sometimes you got to have, what do you call it, like not necessarily the lowest common denominator, but just something that everybody can deal with.
But I'll throw it out there again. One of the reasons we do our designs the way we do is so that they're subtle, and like 762 in an oval, or the WD-40 instead of, or wait, is it S&W 40 instead of WD 40? Those are to be that, and then even every second matters really can all be stuff that doesn't scream Second Amendment. There's other patches out there from other places too, other things you could post even that aren't necessarily like a target or a picture of your gun room or something, that can let another gun person be that nod to another gun person. And then I think those things can be valuable. I mean, a couple of times I met good friends from work because of guns, just like Smeggy saying, you have a conversation with somebody, you end up arranging a time to go shoot, and it turns out you go hunting and then you're shooting all the time and going to gun shows, and you spend a lot of time at work, you meet a lot of people through there. So I think it can be some potential there, but then at the same time, you're there to do work. I guess that was what I came up with. That's why I said it was overall probably negative. You're there to do work, and just you got to pay bills first.
But yeah, no, I like the subtle type stuff, and that's kind of what I meant earlier. And that's the 762 thing. I really like that because it looks like you ran a marathon or something. But then the people who know, it's kind of like, oh, that's clever, neat. Like, I know this guy's on my team, Or
they might ask, what is that for? What does that mean? And then you can say, oh, it's a caliber. Anyway, so
inches, baby, inches.
Another thing that we're going to do today, because it's Tuesday, is we're waiting for you guys. Bob left now too. Is the hashtag thing?
Hashtag Showdown? Is it time?
Yeah. Is there music for that?
Man, I was gonna look for the showcase Showdown today, but I didn't. A, didn't have time, but B, I was a little concerned about potential copyright strikes.
Metallica is usually cool with copyright. Anybody can use their stuff. So
Yeah, Napster said what? All right, so hashtag Showdown. Something we like to do on Tuesdays. I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just going to introduce it, but you did a good job.
Oh. Well, feel free to add anything if you like.
I don't want to anymore.
Oh, okay. So basically, this is on Instagram, and it is the hashtag Daily Gun Show. So what we're going to do is G-Webs is sharing on the screen. We're going to go over to the hashtag Daily Gun Show.
How many did we have last week? How many posts were there last week?
I have no idea. I got a feeling there's been a few more added. Are these the most recent first?
There you go.
All right. Got a feeling we got pink or moon. Yeah, it's pink.
I was just going back to last week to see.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Well, those first couple on the fence are pink.
Sorry, I was looking to see if we made a note.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
When, or how many we had this
week.
Did
it say who won? Oh.
To see how many posts we had. So I wrote it down this week, so now we'll know. Oh, did Pink get this SVT?
Excellent.
I'm guessing he did.
So it looks like...
The jerk. And then he posts pictures.
Nice. It's got... stampage on the stock there.
Mm-hmm.
So that bolt handle reciprocates the whole time, that big freaking thing?
Yeah. It's not that big. It's just like an SKS.
And that muzzle vise looks pretty cool on it too.
Yep. Brake.
Yeah, pink.
1941. So it's an old gun. What do we got going on here?
Got some Daily Gun Show patches.
Broomtastic, one of our guys. Yeah.
42?
Gun Show Loophole Tour.
Should I say 42?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, he did hashtag 42. I saw that earlier. I got mentioned. So that's pretty darn cool, man. I think that's the answer to the pop quiz every day. So
technically.
Nice.
Smeggy.
What did we have? We had Chris with the sub 2K at the river.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
Once again,
nice.
Chris always has awesome backgrounds.
He does. No, wait a minute. Don't go by so fast. We got to talk about it, don't we?
You can't win.
Mr. In a Rush. Oh, well, I want a little explanation is what I was hoping for, man. Haven't talked to the dude in like a week. Got a picture from him. He could actually explain it. Where was this, Maggie?
Oh, this was up north, and these are me and two of my buddies pretty much bringing up a bunch of guns, and yeah, hashtag up north. And yeah, it was we had our Shootapalooza weekend, man. Shot all day Saturday,
Nice.
shot all day
That's
Sunday,
awesome.
shot a little bit Monday. So that's all of our different guns all combined onto one table. They had 18 different guns. It's like that's good enough variety.
I guess so. That's pretty awesome.
Any idea how many rounds you shot?
Excellent job, my friend.
Oh, that's a good question. I really don't know. I mean, it's in the hundreds. I'm not sure if we broke 1,000, to be honest. So probably like upper hundreds, like 7 or 8 maybe. Eventually I'm gonna have to count I'll have all the brass laid out. I could probably count as I'm sorting it. I can get back to you. But
Nice.
I have a laundry
Now this is
bag
somebody that we
filled.
Nice.
Anyways,
This
yeah.
is somebody that's new to posting, I think.
Yeah.
New to posting Daily Gun Show, anyway.
Yeah, at first I thought it was some kind of Photoshop, but now I
Very
think
cool.
I thought it was snow on the car, right?
Yeah, because there's snow on the ground too,
Mm.
so it's probably cold when that picture was taken.
And it looks like it's somebody's Cerakote collection.
Yeah, good. Well, you know, one's kind of white, one's kind of green, right? There's your little 26 out there in the Coloradan woods. I think Colorado.
The tree made out of lava. Killing time.
What do we got here?
Marco.
Nice. Also, another one of the YouTubers. Nice. Got some every second. Got the Arizona one. Said he had a great range day. That's awesome. I always like hearing that. With a skull, too? That's an interesting little dip.
You think that's that, or is that a stencil? I think that's a stencil.
But I guess it could be.
So it looks like Night
Jimmy
Strike
Jane.
needs some stuff. Enjoy a little squatty guy on the box. Wrote safety under it.
Taking a dump. Oh, team lift. My bad.
Looks like another one. I don't remember this one before. Dog Body Official.
Yeah, I don't either. And it looks like that's his travel case is ready for action.
Bunch of clean guns.
Mm-hmm.
Chris again.
With a more
26
inside
travel.
friendly background on that one.
That's the
Or if
original
it was
one.
raining or something.
It's another one from Chris. You grab that patch.
Nice.
Off Tactical Quiz, I guess. Another one from Jimmy. I think he's doing something. He's singing or something in this one. That's the kind of stuff that happens when you're an AR person. I think that's what he was working on, that roofer.
Oh, yeah.
All into Rugers, he would get a Ruger revolver too. And that one from Chris.
Hmm.
And another one from Mike. I think
Yeah,
this
it's pretty cool. That's good to know. You know, he got his patches. It's always good to see when, I don't know if he ordered those patches or he won them on the show, but like
Yep.
seeing the posts of making sure they got through the mail okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, so that was all of them. This is last week's already, I'm pretty sure. So you guys gonna pick one?
Really? That's wow. Okay. Because I thought Dano had the imprint and
Is Dano using hashtag Daily Gun Show or Daily Gun Channels?
yeah.
No, I'm seeing his
Well,
on mine.
that I don't know, but I did see it. It was the one with the roll mark or whatever.
Yeah, he had some pictures of his Tokarev.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you mean, I thought that was last week's. I think that's what we were seeing at the end here,
I think you just stopped.
right here.
Yeah.
So from 6 days ago.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
you can't win either, though.
No, you're right.
Right?
Man, this week's a little light on the hashtags, but
Well, at least we
Let's
got
see.
some.
so we got river patches, stickers. I don't know, man. I don't know if one really like jumped out at me and said, "Hey, I'm a winner."
All right.
Oh, did you show the one? Did this just pop up? Cave Dave had one with like an old school AR sitting in like a bamboo forest. I feel like people are like adding
I don't
hashtags
know.
right now, and then they're popping up. I'm
They must-
scrolling through on my phone. I just saw that. That's a pretty neat picture.
Where'd this one come from?
Yeah, that just popped up also.
What one are you pointing at?
This one from the press release about the SIG brace, or the pistol brace from SP.
Oh,
Then we got this one. This is from Artisan.
Let's-
Yep, yeah, I just saw the Arson Tony one.
3 days ago. So yeah, Instagram is being stupid. So it's not even showing us these things in real, most recent order. It's just showing them as they feel like it. Because here's this one.
when that's hard to do it then. And that's from 4 days ago.
Like I said, I almost wonder if he's like editing his picture and then like he just added it. Like, is Tony out there listening right now?
Just added hashtag
And-
Daily Gun Show.
Yeah,
I
and
see.
that's why it
Yeah.
popped up in between.
Yeah, so that's why it showed up. It could be.
That's pretty cool though, that little cutaway thing or whatever. Or is it just like taken apart or something? I don't know.
Like,
what
I
it
don't
is.
remember the black and white one. You remember the black and white one?
This one right here.
Underneath that one? Yeah. When was that? Oh, April 15th. That's a while ago. I don't remember that one.
I think he just added them. I think he's editing.
How'd this one
Oh,
get?
what about the two?
Oh, I did just post that 2 seconds ago. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I got that better picture because you can see my range in the background. But anyway, let's see. I'm coming through. I'm
Is
leaning
anybody out there
towards
talking about?
that Chris.
Yeah, Dave says he did one Saturday.
Tony says just refresh and pick one of mine. So he might have just put those in there.
Yeah, the Cave Dave ones is pretty cool.
What's the slick pick with the old car that they're talking about?
The one with the
I didn't
syrup.
see a car. Oh, never mind. Dur.
I didn't see the
dur,
car
sorry,
because all the
dur,
cool guns were in front of it.
dur. Sometimes I feel like Bob.
All right. So which one you guys pick?
Okay, so it's 3 votes. That's what we got right here. 1 vote apiece, right?
Mhm.
And it's crossed between the river with the Keltec or Pink's SVT. For me, it's going to be one of those two.
Smeggy.
Yeah.
I am leaning towards the Chris picture with the Glock 26. It's got like a tree falling down in the background. There's like a little bit of snow or whatever.
This
yeah,
one?
that one next to the car.
Well, then we're just going to get 3-way tie, I think, because I was going to pick this one from Tony. I think this one just looks cool.
Well, then.
So now we take those 3 and put them up for the audience to vote on?
I like that. Sure.
We were going the amount of likes before, but
Oh, is that what we're going to
either
do?
way, I can work. Well, that's what we did last time, but that's not really fair to the people that just put them up or whatever. But
Well, 82. Fucking suck it up, Buttercup. This one's got 82 links.
Right.
This one's got only,
okay,
which one was Smeggy's? That was Smeggy's.
that
Yeah,
was
the Chris
Smeggy's.
one. Yep.
Oh, Smeggy wins. He's got 82.
What's what's the river got with the
Really, 40.
sub 2000?
It's not even running. 43.
All right. Well then, how did Tony do?
10. So,
Okay. Then we seem to have a clear winner. A decisive victory.
well, so if you guys want to win, I guess then you have to not only impress us, but then you need to just. Oh,
Not necessarily, because we change the rules every time. Because last time, didn't we? We all picked, and then we all argued with each other for a while till we changed our minds. So we change it every week of how you win. But
Yeah.
you definitely cannot win if you don't use hashtag Daily Gun Show. But as
That's
long as
right.
you use hashtag Daily Gun Show, who knows what's going to happen?
Use hashtag Daily Gun Show, but then go around and try to chat up your pictures so you get a bunch of clicks on them, because then you got a better chance of winning, maybe.
Well, that definitely does help.
Yeah, being here on gun channels when we're doing chats and start throwing them up and stuff like that. People will go look at them. You'll get hearts. Sometimes you just got to be on gun channels. You just got to be in the mix.
So,
Just
Chris,
saying.
we're going to send you back over to dailygunshow.com and the, as soon as I can find it, the, I guess I have to open it up again.
Of course, he's not a green leaf right now. Of course,
Oh, he's not there?
so he might not even know you. Oh, he's got snooze or whatever.
Oh, I'll just tell him on his picture.
All right, cool.
Oh yeah, see, it's
Excellent. Yeah, congratulations, Chris. It happened. Oh, all right, good.
Oh,
I was
Andy
hoping
said
I
thanks.
commented on there using the hashtag like Daily Gun Show Showdown, and I was thinking like, oh man, maybe we could like use that every time someone wins, and then click on it and then like only see the winners or whatever. But when you comment a hashtag, it doesn't like count for the picture. Only the person who posted the picture, when they comment the hashtag, it adds it to it.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So that won't work. But whatever. Because I wouldn't mind if we, I don't know if we're keeping track or whatever, but it'd be interesting to like go back after a while and look at like all of the winners and then pick a best one of that, like, I don't know, once a year or something. But if that's too complicated, then it probably is. So, oh well.
Instead of hashtag showdown, should it be hashtag Daily Gun Showdown?
Oh, I did hashtag Daily Gun Show Showdown. So it's show. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Cool pictures, guys. Keep posting them. Let's just say that.
Yep. Can't win if you don't enter.
Yep.
And you can't enter if you don't listen.
Right? Because you won't even know. You won't even know.
Did we do Bob's Gun of the Day? No.
Yes, it
wasn't here
was
for that.
FN something.
Oh, I'm
1900 or something.
where am I?
And then that's when him and Dano got in a fight, I think.
What have I been doing over here?
Or excuse me, they had a difference of opinion.
All right, now I'm actually at the show and not in the old shows. All right, so that was that. And then we did that. So I think that's the end of the show. That's episode 297. We're actually giving Smeggy some time to have a break if he's going over to that other place. And we
Oh,
will
you
be
mean hit or miss Tuesday at 9 o'clock?
Oh, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday night. So that means Andalusia Armory happened while we were doing this show. So if you want to listen to the guys from the Andalusia Armory Gun Shop, we encourage you to do so. It's a good show. Just happens to be at the same exact time as we do it here live. And they're also doing it live on Tuesdays. They close the shop early and they turn on the webcam and they shoot the breeze about various stuff that happens in their shop and stuff that's of interest to them. I think they run a pretty good show. Tuesdays also is the home to Hit or Miss. So as Maggie just said, in about 10 minutes, they'll be starting that show with Night Strike and the crew. Then on Tuesdays, we also see Big Gunner 81 doing his show. I think he just literally moved from Illinois down to, I think, one of the Carolinas. I don't remember if it was north or not. But not sure if he'll do a show tonight or not. Has anybody seen that posted yet? Otherwise, we'll see you back on Wednesday morning on Gun Channels for Early Watch. Jimmy James does a long format show with Tony and Night Strike and some of the other guys, where they keep a live room open every Wednesday or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning for a long format, many hours. So it's a great thing to listen to as an alternative to the radio or even watching stuff on TV, because it's always different. And if you want to be involved, you can either text chat with them and steer the show a little bit with topics and questions, or take their link that they'll post out there and jump in and join them live. We'll see us back here at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific for another episode of this show, the Daily Gun Show. Same place on YouTube and over here on Gun Channels. We'll be talking about the various types of gun-related insurance, carry insurance, and those kind of things. We'll be talking about top 10 vehicles and the tactical quizzes on Wednesdays. Of course, all of our stuff that we hit on a daily basis as well. So I guess with that, we will wrap it up. Somebody have Bob's duties covered? Anyone? No?
Looking for one right now.
Oh, there's not even one posted? Yeah, there's one posted in here.
No, there's not.
Is there?
No.
There's...
Wait. Oh, yeah, there is.
One in there.
Yeah, there is. I'm just looking at the wrong thing again.
So, you want to do it, Z, or you want me to do it?
I can't even find it, so you might as well do it.
All right.
While he's fighting around with that, thanks, Maggie, for jumping in on your birthday. Appreciate it. And have fun at NRA.
Go. Yeah, thanks, man. And no problem. NRA should be fun. Everyone come. I'm going to mention it again. I'll try and mention it each day now. I'm going to be wearing Daily Gun Show shirts, Poco Ghibli, gun websites, gun channels, everything that matters. Something. I haven't packed yet, but there'll be some type of gun channels type shirts on. So if you see someone wearing that, it's probably me. Come talk to me. I have like some patches and stickers, and I know Pink and Marco have a bunch of gun channels patches also. So come talk to us, hang out, and you might get something cool. So anyways, thanks everyone for...
What kind of windbreaker are you planning on wearing? Or how many windbreakers are you bringing?
I wasn't planning on bringing a windbreaker, although I do own one.
But, yep.
So,
Oh, you're dead to me. Tried to freak Bob. I think you missed it earlier.
Oh, yeah, I missed it.
What do you say? I don't like you anymore.
Huh? Okay. That's fine. Anyways, this quote is by Noah Webster, whoever that is. I'm not sure who that is, but okay. Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, as they are in almost every country in Europe. So with that, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.